Hello, my name is Mark and today we'll be discussing the use of Auslan in primary education systems in New South Wales. Accessibility to communication in the education setting is a difficulty experienced by children who are deaf or hearing impaired. This video aims to raise awareness of these challenges and how increased accessibility to Auslan in schools across Australia and funding in the education systems may provide hearing impaired and deaf children with the same opportunities as their hearing peers to thrive in their academic environments. There is an increasing concern that the deprivation of communication and communication barriers experienced by hearing impaired children in schools is impacting on their academic achievement. The absence of appropriate teacher education, implementation and management of hearing impairments in the classroom and lack of funding and awareness all contribute to this. There is a concern among educationalists that using Auslan in schools will delay language and literacy skills in children with hearing impairments. This is not so. Children with hearing impairments may find learning language and literacy skills challenging, however, will acquire these skills and exposure to written forms of English and appropriate teacher support. However, due to a lack of an awareness and training, teachers find it difficult to support hearing impaired children adequately.
Whilst the implementation of Auslan in some state curriculums is being backed by government funding, the New South Wales curriculum is not. State curriculums, which have funding and educational opportunities for hearing impairment programs, increase the opportunities for hearing impaired students to reach their full academic potential. Implementation of Auslan increases their access to the curriculum, increases communication opportunities with their peers and teachers, and increases awareness of hearing impairment to the wider community. Government-funded opportunities in Queensland and Victoria, such as supporting signed television programs, Auslan as VET and HSC courses, and teacher-funded access to Auslan education significantly supports the growth of successful implementation of Auslan use in schools. However, the New South Wales Government does not offer these services. This has a marked effect on accessibility to communication and participation in the classroom for these children and limits their educational opportunities. Therefore, with increased funding, teachers may partake in professional development for increased awareness and training on implementing not only Auslan in the classroom, but other strategies that might reduce communication barriers for hearing impaired children in the educational setting. It is therefore important to recognise that the disadvantages and barriers that arise from not employing Auslan in schools is significant and requires re-evaluation.
After contacting professional educators, it is evident that there are areas that require improvement to address these concerns and contribute to improved academic outcomes for children with hearing impairments. A number of strategies that can be targeted for successful implementation of Auslan in schools and increased awareness of the difficulties faced by hearing impaired students include the following. 1. Improving education and training for teachers. By funding education for teachers and teachers' aides on the barriers experienced by hearing impaired children, awareness of their challenges can be understood and strategies can be implemented to help appropriately accommodate for these children in the classroom. 2. Providing funding for teachers and teachers' aid education and training in Auslan Signed Language. Exposure to Auslan as a language will equip educators with skills to communicate efficiently, bridging the gap between hearing and non-hearing worlds. And 3, development of teacher support programs to assist in the implementation of classroom strategies to reduce communication barriers. This could include furnishings to reduce background noise, visual schedules to encourage a quiet learning space, instruction on how to utilise hearing technology such as loop system for halls, microphone and foot extensions on hearing aids, amplification systems, and positioning of the teacher and student so that communication is efficient. Decreased accessibility and funding therefore impacts the quality of education and support received by hearing impaired children. Upon implementation of technology-based supports and increased training and education for teachers and teachers' aides, all students' learning and education opportunities are enhanced, giving children of all levels of ability the opportunity to thrive in the classroom.